had to invent a guy that didn't exist. I had to invent a guy that can take any pain, any suffering, any kind of judgment. I had to build this callous mind, and I built it through suffering.
Hey troops, Dit Commando here. Welcome to the channel. Really do appreciate each and every one of you for stopping by today to watch my reaction video. And today's video then is going to be on how David Goggins became that guy from fat and broke to a Navy SEAL. And it's a video from the Joe Rogan Experience Films channel. I'll put the link in the description for that, troops, so you can go check them out and give them a subscribe and a follow. And yeah, I'm gonna react to it as authentically as I possibly can. I've seen the first like 30 seconds of it, so I thought, yeah, I'd like to do a reaction to this. I've heard a lot about David Goggins, obviously being a former Royal Marines commando myself, and yeah, he's a well-known guy in the military world, you know, and much respect to him as well. He's done some incredible things. So yeah, before we get into that, troops, please smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, please drop a subscribe as well and hit the notifications so you can always get notified when I'm going to do a next video. And that's about it, guys. Within the past week or so, my channel's just literally exploded. Although, you know, 1,500-ish subscribers might not seem that much to many channels. To me, I literally went from 600 last week to well over 1,000 this week, so I'm over the moon, troops. And yeah, which brings me on to my next point. We've got a few new features on the channels. Apparently Super Chat is enabled and stickers as well. I'm not too sure how it works and stuff, but I guess we'll find out in this video, troops. But if you know how it works and stuff like that, drop me a comment. And yeah, I'm excited to see the channel progress, guys. All down to you. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. But enough of me yapping on. Let's get into this, yeah? Okay.
You are a guy that, for a lot of people, you sort of embody the idea of hardening your mind and figuring out a way to do things that most people think are impossible. You've sort of become that guy. How'd you become that guy?
You know what? I grew up not that guy.
Well, I'll just stop it there very quickly, troops. This is all as far as I've got when I've watched it the first time. I think the key to remember this is he grew up not that guy, which I think is fascinating, because I adore this guy. I think he's an amazing human being, but for everything that he stands for now wasn't what he stood for when he was younger. I just want you guys to remember that if you are going through your own trials and tribulations, okay, you can redefine yourself, and you'll see why in a second.
They see me now as the guy that, with his shirt off, who can do 4,030 pull-ups in 17 hours, who can run 205 miles in 39 hours, who can do all this crazy shit. But what they don't understand is they don't understand the journey that it took me to get to this point.
Yeah, so he talks about the journey, and it's something that I used to do before I joined the Royal Marines. I would look at other people and, you know, judge myself based off what they're achieving and everything else, and it would get me down, actually, you know, and until I realised that we might see what they're achieving now, but we're not really, we might not have seen the journey that they've been on to get there. And until you understand someone's journey, you can understand a little bit more what you probably need to do yourself in order to get to that destination yourself as well.
My dad beat the shit out of me when I was growing up. My dad owned skating rinks, he owned bars, he ran prostitutes from Canada to Buffalo, New York. My dad was a big-time pimp, big-time hustler. Anything bad about a person, he was that kind of guy. Beat the shit out of me, beat the shit out, out of my mom. There was an incident one time when my mom got knocked out on top of the stairs, and he dragged her down the stairs by her hair. In my mind, I was always afraid. My whole life I was afraid, but I had this fucking voice, this conscience that would always be battling me, saying, hey, you gotta get up and do something. I didn't want to do shit. And I have a big time learning disability, because my dad didn't believe in us going to school. So when I went to school, my learning disability, I had social anxiety. I was just a jacked up kid from living in this tortured home. So all the insecurities I had when I was a kid with my father, it just got worse and worse and worse. And the shit haunted me. And that voice that I talked about, it kept talking louder and louder and louder, but I was doing nothing about it.
Yeah, so I think most of us on here can pretty much relate to that in terms of having that voice. I would describe it as that little devil on the shoulder, and I can definitely understand that. It held me back for years. I would listen to that and it would beat me down, just like it's kind of beaten him down. But the most important thing to understand is that you don't have to really be defined by your past. You can allow that past to refine your future, and I think that's what he's trying to say. I mean, he went through a pretty traumatic childhood by the looks of it. You know, domestic abuse. He wasn't bright at school. He had learning difficulties, social anxiety. You know, all of these things that are floating around right now in society. You know, I don't think it's healthy to kind of be defined by those, and I do believe that you can overcome them with the right kind of mentality, and he's going to get into this, I think.
From the age of 19 to the age of 22, I gained 125 pounds. I went from 175 to almost 300. 297 was my heaviest. And I started finding things that was comfortable. And the more things I found comfortable, the more uncomfortable my mind was. Because that voice I was telling you about, it always was there. I was just trying to avoid that conscience. I wanted to be left alone from that conscience, and it wouldn't leave me alone.
So he was hiding from himself then, really. He's hiding from himself, that's what he's saying, that conscious. It was manifesting in his brain to the point of where he wanted, your brain tricks you. It's a weird thing, trying to understand it, and the way he's talking there is, he was constantly searching for his comfort zone, but when he got there, he wasn't happy with it, because deep inside them, his conscience was fighting back. I like to call it your fighting spirit, your fire, that spark. You know, all you need is a little spark to light a fire, and that's what he had inside him. That spark was still there, against putting on all of the weight and everything else and finding these comfort zones. It was still there, and I believe that's where a lot of anxiety in people is created from today, by taking the easy route, by not doing things that are challenging, by not taking part in hard physical activity to make sure the mind stays healthy. I believe if you've got that spark inside you, that's where both of them clash, and you're going to have problems, really.
What changed, I watched this Discovery Channel show, Class 224.
Class 224.
You get treated like the absolute lowest form on earth, and you really got to find it within yourself to say, you know I can do it, I know I can finish it, I know I can do anything they throw at me. That's where it builds character. You find out if you got it in yourself.
I watched the show, and it made me reflect big time on the piece of shit that I am, and I'm exactly what people said I was going to be. I was watching these guys going through Hell Week.
Hell Week, the most dreaded week of buds. It's the ultimate test of one's physical and mental motivation. A round-the-clock regimen of intensive physical training and harassment, with as little as 4 hours of sleep during the entire week.
And these guys are ringing the bell, quitting, dropping their helmet down, rolling out. A lot of guys just leaving. And it made me reflect on my fears, my insecurities. And I saw real men, what I thought were real men, who were staying, who were overcoming adversity, who were overcoming all these different things that I had blamed so many fucking people in my life, my dad, my mom for not being there, my learning disability, my skin color.
I think the key thing there is to understand that he's had an opportunity to reflect, and upon reflection he's realised that the reason he's not progressing in life is because he's blaming people for his situation, and that takes a lot of courage for him to do that. You know, most people in his situation would blame the fact that he had a bad childhood and he didn't have a good education and he had an abusive father, but he's reflected that that's not going to change anything. And he's accepted that in order to change his life, he's got to reflect on that positively and not blame that situation. Although it would be really, really hard not to, he's choosing to not blame it.
And so I sat there for a while, and I was like, no one's gonna fucking come to help me. No one's gonna fucking come to help me. It's fucking me against me, period. I had to man up, and I said, the first thing I gotta start doing is facing every fucking fear I have.
Yeah, I like that. He's admitting to himself now. I've seen a change in the way he's speaking. It's this. he's at the point in life now where he's going, yeah, let's go for it. I accept everything that I am, but I'm going to make it better.
So I started calling recruiters up. I said, I'm going to go be a fucking Navy SEAL. There's a weight and height limit to get in the military. And I was 6'1" and 297. And I called this guy named Steven Salgio, recruiter, up. And he said, hey, come on in. He saw me, put me through the weight standard, all this other stuff. And to get into the class I had to lose 106 pounds in less than 3 months. So I was like, fuck that, I can't do that. I grabbed my chocolate milkshake and went back to Ecolab, respray for cockroaches. I'm going back to work, man. This is my life.
Wow, so the first little hint of what he needed to do, he kind of backed out, but it just goes to show, guys, and a guy like David Goggins, you know, you're going to have problems along the way, and that was one of his first major hurdles. You know, he needed loads of weight to go through SEAL training. Yeah, I wonder how he got through it.
I don't like cockroaches too much. I hit the mother load of cockroaches. And I sat there and said, this is my life. This ain't gonna be it for me. So I quit my job, got back in my Ecolab truck, and I went home. So my first run, when I decided to lose the weight, I was, like I said, 297. I was about 32% body fat. My idea was to run 4 miles for my first run. I didn't know how bad it's gonna fucking hurt me. I used to run before I was fat, and I was like, fuck it, I can do this. I ran a 1/4 mile and walked home. I walked home and sat on my couch and cried. I said, man, I can't fucking do this shit. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And my mind just kept fucking with me. And kept fucking, you're not good enough, man. This isn't for you, man. These guys are the baddest motherfuckers on the planet Earth. You're not that.
Wow, so he's had more setbacks. Obviously trying to lose the weight. He's left his job. He's put a lot on the line, and he's realised that it seems like an impossible task.
How do you move forward?
What it was, and it's kind of funny, I was obsessed with Rocky. And I would fast forward with the little VHS tapes to round 14. Round 14 fucked me up like nobody's business.
Hard left and the right combination. What is keeping him up, Bill? I don't know.
When Apollo Creed beat the fucking shit out of Rocky, beat the shit out of him, he kept fighting. He was a dumb fighter, couldn't read, couldn't write. That was me. He was in that corner and everybody was saying, stay the fuck down.
Down, down, stay down. Apollo dancing around with his arms in the air.
And him getting up, Apollo Creed raised his arms up in the fucking air, turned around, thought he won the fight. He turns around and sees this guy getting up, and it was the face of Apollo Creed that changed my life. The face of Apollo Creed. It was like, just by that motherfucker getting up, not winning, just by him getting the fuck up, Rocky had taken his soul. Had literally taken his soul. His head goes down, he looks at him like, what the fuck are you?
You know, it's strange this, because when I was growing up, you know, these films, although many people might go, oh, they're a bit cheesy and stuff like that, but I got that same level of motivation from them, troops. Honestly, I grew up with like Rocky and Rambo and all of them types of films, and I gained so much self-motivation at times when I needed it through these films. And I used to listen to the soundtrack when I used to go on runs, and I still do to this day. I put the Rocky soundtrack on when I'm training, lifting weights and stuff, and it's got me through a lot of difficult times, just having those thoughts and songs in my head. So I can definitely relate to that. Let me know if you've had something similar with the Rocky films, or any film for that matter, because it's quite an interesting concept, that. But if you're liking this, please drop a like, troops, and drop a subscribe if you've made it this far and you haven't already. I really do appreciate it.
I wanted to be that. I wanted to be the guy that people looked at. I don't care if you liked me or didn't like. I don't care. But it said, this motherfucker is gonna keep coming after whatever the fuck is in front of him. I wanted that. I wanted that worse than anything in the world.
Yeah, so what he's got his belief now, and it's been instilled through watching something. He's gained that motivation, and I'm a massive believer in visualization, guys, and you can't do that unless you watch things and you gain that motivation to then have to visualize your goals. If you need some motivation, try it out. It really does work.
I kept picturing me falling down and getting up. I wanted to feel something besides defeat. I wanted to just go the distance.
he seems like he's been craving for that all his life. He's just been in the wrong frame of mind. Little does he know, or did he know, was that, you know, he said he never was that person, but deep inside him he always was that person who was just dying to explode out. He just wanted to go out and achieve things.
I say what if a lot. It sounds corny and it sounds weak, but it's true. What story would it be if my fucking fat, dumb, insecure ass can overcome this shit? What if I can be a SEAL, man? How would that feel? To go from this fat, insecure motherfucker to one of the best guys on the planet Earth. This journey is gonna take something that is gonna be incomprehensible to most people. So I would sit on my couch saying, who at 297, who can't fucking swim that great, who's scared of the fucking water, would have the fucking balls? Who had the balls to fucking man up, quit a job, and to put everything on himself? So it's how I started talking to myself and putting myself in a whole different category, and that would fuel me the next day, and I just kept using that as fuel and fuel. No one would do this shit. No one would do this shit. You're the baddest motherfucker around. You're the baddest motherfucker ever lived. I just kept fueling me with the right kind of message that I needed to hear that I was never telling myself.
Yeah, so he's impregnating in his mind positivity. I think that's the key from that. He's being honest with himself. He's created an action plan. He's motivated himself and he's put it into practice. And every single day, he's relayed that information back to himself. He doesn't need anyone to tell him he's doing good. He doesn't need anything like that. He's telling himself that he's good enough. And it's an amazing thing, you know, from seeing what he has achieved in life and understanding now how he's done it. Man, anyone can do this. Anyone can do this.
So it became from being defeated to like, man, all right, motherfucker, maybe tomorrow we can go 0.75. But I started realizing I can't run that far. So what I did was I became damn near a professional cyclist with the miles I put on the bike. I rode a bike a lot to lose the first initial kind of weight because my bones were just hurting so bad. My body was just broken. And then the bike got easier. I was able to run more. I went from like 1 mile. 1 mile was a great accomplishment. 2 miles, and then from 2 to 3 was a big one. Then I went from 3 to 6. They have a warning order that they give people to get ready for buds. And the whole thing was running 6 miles 5 days a week. And that was my goal.
Key thing for this, guys, goal. You have to have a goal. There's no point in just saying I'm going to go do something without having a goal in mind. And I know I interact with a lot of you guys speaking to me on YouTube and especially the Discord group, which you should join. The link's in the description, by the way. Lots of questions about what should I do in the military, how am I going to get there with fitness and all of this, that and the other. Guys, my top tip is to have a goal. Have a goal and stick to it. Don't chop and change left, right and Chelsea. Have a goal, obsess over it, stick to it, and have an action plan, and then move towards that action plan, and do not change it for love nor money. You want to be a Royal Marine like what I did? Set that in stone, write it down. By this date, I want to be a Royal Marine. By this year. That's what I did. I wrote it down. I want to be a Royal Marines Commando, and I did everything within my power to become one. Every single run, every single sit-up, every single press-up and pull-up. I didn't have to ask nobody what to do because I'd researched it, so I knew absolutely everything about it. And that's what I would advise anyone wanting to join the military. If you think of this, if you've got to ask loads of questions, then you ain't done enough work. Simple as that. If you've got to ask, is this good enough or is that good enough? You've got the wrong mindset. I didn't ask nothing, and that's what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's got to do. He's got to go out and do it. And that's the mindset you've got to have, guys. You've got to have a granite mindset.
I failed, I'll go back to scratch. I use some positive motivation. I have like one day where I'm like fucking defeated. But I started realizing this is part of the process. This is part of the journey versus just saying, like I used to, I'm just not good enough. We always say that shit. I'm just not good enough, and then we try something else. I'm gonna fucking make myself good enough. And that became my mentality. I had to invent a guy that didn't exist. I had to invent a guy that can take any pain, any suffering, any kind of judgment. I had to build this callous mind, and I built it through suffering. I built it through downright fucking just crushing myself. If it was raining outside at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning, if it was snowing, my instinct was, we gotta fucking go out there. Anything that was fucking horrible in my life that I would normally say no, that was inhumane to most people, I had to go do it. And I lost the weight. I went back to recruiter, I got into that class, and I went through 3 Navy SEAL Hell Weeks in 1 year. Only guy to ever be in 3 Hell Weeks in 1 year, to my knowledge. The first one I didn't make it through, the next 2 I did.
Perseverance is unbelievable with this guy. From being a fat nobody who blamed everyone to, you know, a guy who's smashing the weight, his weight loss, it's just flying off him. He's doing anything within his powers, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning and running in the snow and having that absolute can-do attitude. It's phenomenal, guys, what you can do if you just put your mind to it.
I didn't stop anymore from there. And I started realizing through this process that the fucking mind is what you created. And I started opening different doors that I didn't think were even there, that I didn't think even existed. And the more doors I opened up, the more I started realizing that my potential is damn near endless.
Wow. What a phrase that is. You know, his potential is pretty much endless, and the mind is what you create. I think the key for this all, guys, is that the power is truly in your hands. What are you doing about it?
If anybody knows my life story, and I try to give you just a snippet of it, to get through where I'm at now, there's nothing but pride I have for myself that I can't really show people. Because I have this face that they see like, are you happy? What's wrong with you? You're missing the story, man. Am I happy? What the fuck do you think? Don't misunderstand the passion in which I speak for not being intensely happy. But I'm not done. No, I have a lot more shit to do. A lot more shit to do.
Wow, so, just turn this camera around a little bit. Yeah, man, well, I'm inspired by that, guys. I don't know about you, but I'm very, very much inspired. Normally when I go off on tangents and start talking about things, that means it's triggered something in me. And yeah, I hope you guys can get something from this. That's the whole reason I'm doing the likes of these reaction videos. It's not for you just to see what I think. I want to be able to give something back as well from my life experience, and we can get more out of it that way, guys, you know, because I know a lot of you people that are watching this, those of you that are commenting back, giving me positive feedback, some of you guys are also asking for help in certain ways. So yeah, use my brain if you need, guys, to get you to a place where you need to be. If you need that motivation and inspiration and you're getting it from the channel, then great, talk to me. I'll help you as much as I can. But I think the key thing to take away from this is you guys have the power to change your life with your own mindset, no matter where you're at right now. So, I mean, here's a prime example, guys. 8 weeks ago, I had an idea of creating a YouTube channel with the aims of potentially getting to 1,000 subscribers within 2 months, and I did it. I did that through perseverance and doing it when everything seemed impossible, okay? When I was sacrificing so many things around me. I was putting out 1 or 2 videos a day, every single day, and it wasn't gaining traction, but all of a sudden, it started to gain traction. So it's proof, isn't it, really, the fact that you guys who have been there from the beginning, you're seeing it in action with myself, that a mindset can get you places. So if you've got anything that you want to aim for, especially within the military, know that it is within your control to be able to get there. So if you want to continue this conversation on with me, join the Discord group. The link's in the description, and we've got a massive group on there with loads of different people aspiring to join not just the military but other jobs as well, and everyone's been inspired on there. All the information is free flowing, so you're welcome to join that group, guys, and I'd love to see you there. And that's your place to suggest videos to me, have a chat with me, or interact with the other people on there. Also to see what they're doing with their lives as well. We've got a lot of people wanting to join the military, so it's a real good group to join. But other than that, troops, if you have made it this far, I really do thank you. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe, drop a like, press the notification button. And yeah, if that new feature was working, the super chat or anything, if we've had any of those today, I just want to say a thank you to you. If we haven't, that's great. I'm never going to ask you guys to do anything like that anyway. But just in case we have, because this is pre-recorded, thank you anyway. Just thanks for being on the video. Much love, guys. See you in the next one.